Durdle Magic. Thank you for tuning in to Durdle Magic. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell if you like the content you see here today, and leave a like and share the video with someone you might think is interested. Leaving those likes really helps us out, but another way to help us out is by using our TCG Player affiliate link below. If you're looking for singles, sealed product, or gaming accessories, please consider using our link to support the channel. We also have some playmats at inkgaming.com. Go ahead and hit the link in the description to check those out. Alright, let's grab some spells and Durdle with some magic. Hello and welcome back to Durdle Magic. Today we're playing some more Arixmethes Slumbering Isle. Looking at our opening hand, that is the nope. No follow-up, no blue. Let's go ahead and take the free mulligan. New hand. We got boots. We have sandals. We have void grafters. Who maybe make the shoes. Yeah, I think I'll keep this. Have enough mana to get our commander down, then follow it up with some stuff. And yeah, seems pretty good. Our first opponent is Obosh, the Prey Piercer. Temple of Mouse into play for them. They will scry one. Obosh is a 3 Rakdos Hellion Horror. Legendary, of course, 3/5. Companion won't matter. It is the commander. If a source you control with an odd converted mana cost will deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead. Notably, this doesn't say only opponents, but most of the time you're aiming that stuff at your opponents. But, as a precaution, don't do something that hurts yourself. Bountiful Promenade into play for our next opponent, who is Trostani Selesnia's Voice. I got a good mix of decks so far today. She is a green white legendary 2/5 Dryad. Whenever another token enters the battlefield under your control, you may gain life equal to its toughness. Not you may. My bad. 1 green-white tap populate. So what populate does, in case you don't know, is if you have a token in play, or many tokens in play, when you go populate, you get to make a new token of any token you control. Comes to our turn, we get Steve. So let's go ahead, play a forest, tap it down, pass it off to our opponents. And next turn we'll play Steve, get a new land into play, and then save the rest of the stuff to cast after our commander comes down. I think that's the idea. Rolling over to our next opponent, who happens to be Edric, Spymaster of Trest. 1 green-blue for a legendary 2/2 Elf Rogue. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller may draw a card. Forest in play, Burial Druid coming down for that player. I've faced a few Edrics before. They always play out the same way, but there's no denying the card advantage and value that comes out of that. It can get ridiculous. Mountain down, followed by a Sword of the Animist for the Obosh player. That'll be pretty good for him, especially if they're just going to run a bunch of stuff to deal damage. They'll need that mana ramp. To Trostani's turn, that is a Plains into play. Let's see what they do. So we have damage dealing, life gain. We're doing Tron, so the life gain won't matter. The damage might matter. Just a little bit. And then we have Edric over here, who's just going to draw tons and tons of stuff. Risk the Redeemed coming down for Trostani, reprinted in Double Masters. Set symbol right there for you. Brings it back to our turn. We get Primal Empathy. That will be pretty good later. Although I don't know how big the creatures are getting in this game. Edric, probably not too big. Put an island into play. We will tap and cast the Steve. Steve into play. Everyone bask in its glory, its greatness. The most played card ever to come out of Kamigawa. That's an Edric coming down for that player. Card draw for everybody. On the bright side, we do need some card draw. Maybe hit Obosh once or twice with the Steve before we sack it. We do have enough lands for our commander at the moment, so it's not something we have to immediately do, go get that extra land. Rakdos Signet coming down for the Obosh player. Are they going to miss their land drop, though? That would be somewhat sad. Oh, to the end step. No land drop for the Obosh player. That is sad, then. But at least they played a Signet, so they're not out of the game yet. But that is going to be bad for them. Unless they have a lot of 3-drop damagey things. Trostani's turn, Crows and Verge into play. So that's pretty good. Notably, you can play this in that new Omnath. Trostani on the attack risks off into the Obosh player, probably just doing it to draw a card. But they also get the achievement of First Blood. There's the trigger for Edric. Comes our turn. We get Runic Armasaur. All right, card draw. Going to like that. Let's go ahead and play the Forest. And we have 5 cards in hand currently to cast after our commander, but do we want to get something down beforehand? I think that we might. Let's go ahead, play the Swiftfoot Boots, get that down early. That way, once our commander is a creature, we can just go ahead and equip those with the Hexproof. Should be good. Let's go ahead and attack. Let's attack Trostani. Get some blood drawn over there, if you will. That way, everybody's nice and even. At that rate, we'll probably be taking one from the Druid over there at Edric's side, but Mask of Memory, that'll be pretty good. We're getting all the card draw this game, plus Edric on the board. We will need some kind of mass removal or fogs, though. Edric can be a giant pain in the butt. Especially with, I don't know, Triumph of the Hordes. Fyndhorn Elves coming down for the Edric player on their turn. Another Mana Dork. Pretty good. No evasion, though, but that's something you can easily solve in blue. Ooh, Edric on the attack, all into Trostani. Probably because they have a possible life gain commander, so that does make things a little bit more difficult for him. 2 triggers, it is per creature, so not quite Ludovic, no. This guy is better, to say the least. Over to Obosh's turn. I do hope they drop a land or something. They're gonna fall behind a little bit fast here if they don't. Anthemancer? We'll take a look at that in a minute. But, man, what is that from? When it enters the battlefield, deals damage to target player equal to the number of non-basic lands that player controls. So, I imagine that's going to be Trostani again. No, it's going to be the Edric player. Okay. Edric player takes no damage. They have no non-basics. Rolling over to Trostani's turn. At least Obosh now has some defense with the Athena-mancer? Not sure how you say that, but creepy. Corrosion Verge getting the crack. They'll go get a Plains card and a Forest card. That'll be pretty good. Also, again, can use it in the new 4-color Omnath. If you haven't seen that card yet, go check that out. That's it for Trostani. It'll roll over to us. We get Buried Ruin. Okay, could use more lands. That works for me. Let's go ahead and play the Reliquary Tower just in case, I suppose. And let's cast our commander. For the first time this game, Arixmethes, the Slumbering Isle, it will come into play sleeping like a baby. And we have to wake it up. Gently, though. Gently. Oh, we have an Arcane Denial coming out of Edric. That sucks. Alright, so at least we didn't waste a bunch of spells trying to activate it first. So let's just go ahead, pass it off to our opponents. I was so looking forward to get that down early, but at least we have a land drawn. We can get some more lands drawn. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. Over to Edric's turn. Arcane Denial's delayed trigger will trigger. We will get up to 2 cards. We will draw those. We need lands to recast our commander. We do have Steve in play. We can sacrifice if we need to, but let's leave it up for defense as long as possible. We get a forest and an island. Excellent. Not only did we get lands out of the way for our next draws, we got the lands we needed. Wingcrafter. Soul Bond. A creature will have flying. That's not good. That also means this creature itself will also have flying. Wingcrafter gets paired with Edric, so now he has flying. Too bad. Edric alone in the attack. Into Trostani again. Damage is good. They get a card. Trostani up to 4 commander damage from Edric alone. It'll be slow to beat them down with commander damage, but Trostani can gain a lot of stuff back, so commander damage might be the only viable option for Edric. I've played against Edric decks, but I have not played an Edric deck, so I don't know. Jiraga Tree Speaker coming down for the Edric player. More Mana Dorks. Scrib Sprites coming down. Island into play for the Edric player. So they have plenty of mana up for counter spells. We could do Secure Tribe Elder, sack when we block it, or sack at the end of Trostani's turn, get a land into play tapped, play land on our turn, recast our commander. But it seems kind of risky. Hopefully the other players can do something to where they waste the counter spell on their thing, and we can get our Slumbering Isle out. Command Tower coming down for Obosh. Alright. Looks like they're not out of this game yet. Sword of the Animus being equipped to this thing I can't pronounce, the Anathemamancer? I don't know. Anathemamancer? Somebody in the comments help me out. Obosh on the attack. Into us, unfortunately. Not going to try killing any of the Mana Dorks. That stinks. Sword of the Animus will trigger. I guess we're going to block with Steve and crack it for a land. Steve to the intercept. Let's go ahead and crack it for that land. Unfortunately, Edric's going to be completely left alone after this. And that's what's dangerous about Edric deck. You go in to get that early card draw, and Edric's over there with the rug out from under you. Let's go ahead and let's see what we need. An island to even things out. Let's go ahead and do that. Mind Crank coming down for the Obosh player. Uh-oh. Ooh. Okay, Spell Stutter Sprite. Flash Flying when it enters the battlefield, counter target spell unless with converted mana cost X or less, where X is the number of fairies you control. So, do they have the 2? I believe the Scrib was a fairy, yep. So, that will work. Also, that means they're down mana for a counterspell for our commander, which is hopefully going to be very good for us. They could still have Force Spike or something. So, in the more competitive builds of Edric, that is a thing, I think. I don't remember quite. It's been a while. But if they have a Force Spike, not good for us. Trostani, Selesnia's Voice coming down for that player. That's interesting. I wonder if they'll cast anything after the fact. I'd be fine with board wipes. Although, I don't think they're going to cast one right after their commander. No attacks out of the Trostani player. They could have attacked us for an extra card. Maybe saw what they got. Comes to our turn, we get Tribute Mage. That'll get us some nice nifty equipment. Let's go ahead and play a Farce for the turn. So my big worry here is they have blue up. It could be Pondify, Rapid Hybridization, could be Force Spike. Next turn could be Beast Within. But I guess we don't have much of a choice. We do have lands to recover in a few turns, so let's go ahead and try to recast our commander. Arixmethes down. That's awesome. So we just have to make sure to get those boots on at an opportune time once it becomes a creature to avoid all that removal. Although Beast Within can still nab it right now. It says permanent. To Edric's turn. There's a real possibility we could die right here to a Triumph of the Hordes. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Edric on the attack, all of it into us. They all fly, by the way. So nothing we could do anyway. They are going to be able to draw 4 more cards, and they have all their mana dorks up. So, it's not the best. Second main phase for Edric, 8 cards in hand. They have 5 lands available, plus 2 mana dorks. I don't think this one's leveled yet. Nope. Muddle the Mixture, Transmute. So, Muddle the Mixture costs blue, Transmute, in this case, is 1 blue, and what that means is they pay that cost, discard the card, get a card out of their deck that costs the same. Notably, Cyclonic Rift has a CMC of 2. Alright, they get a Wirewood Hive Master. Whenever another non-token elf enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 green insect creature token. Did not see that coming. They're also going to level up the Jiraga Tree Speaker. It now has tap, add green to their mana pool. Wirewood Hive Master coming down for the Edric player. Llanowar Elves coming down, they will get an insect token from the Hive Master. There's the trigger. Wonder what the art will look like. There's the art. It's a 1/1, but is that even a? That's a statue. That thing is huge. Should be like a 5/5. Obosh's turn. To the attack straight away. Hopefully not us, and hopefully off into the Edric player. Nope, it's into us. That is unfortunate. We need to put more pressure on the Edric player. Unfortunately, I'm not playing a deck that's good at the pressure until we have our commander going. Damage is good. Edric triggers. Obosh player will get to draw a card. We take 3 down to 32. They got a land into play. Swamp. I do hope they are able to wipe the board. Even a Pyroclasm at this point would be very good. Luxury Suite into play for the Obosh player. Obosh the Prey Piercer coming down for that player. Blood Chief Ascension. Uh-oh. At the beginning of each end step, if an opponent lost 2 or more life this turn, it gets a counter on it. And whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, if this has 3 or more counters on it, you may have that player lose 2 life. If you do, you gain 2 life. So that with a board wipe would be pretty good, especially against all the small guys over on Edric's side. Blood Chief Ascension will in fact get a trigger at the end step because we lost 3 life. Now, I just want to point out something. Blood Chief Ascension says loses life. They lose 2 life. Obosh does damage. Obosh will not help the enchantment. It will still only do the 2. So just for reference, there's a difference between dealing damage and an ability that causes life loss. Brushland into play for the Trostani player. They are sitting on 7 mana, so I do wonder what they're going to be doing with it. Anointed Procession, that'll be good if they start making some tokens. I don't know what kind of tokens they would make. One of my favorite cards in Trostani when I had it was Azuri's Predation. That was always fantastic. Risk the Redeem being activated, they get a 1/1 elf. So, in fact, they will get 2. Trostani will trigger twice. There it is. They will gain 2 life total. Comes to our turn, we get Whisper Silk Cloak. That will be very nice. So let's go ahead, play an island, play the Tribute Mage. Might as well get that out of the way. Go tutor something out of the deck. The Slumbering Isle loses a counter. It starts to wake up. Tribute Mage into play is good. Let's go ahead and grab a CMC2 artifact from our deck. See what we have going on here. Thematic Compass, Mask of Avacyn, or Trailblazer's Boots. Let's see. We have Evasional Ray and Flying and Unblockability. Don't think we need that. Thematic Compass would be good for defense, and we already have lands into play. And Mask of Avacyn does do hexproof, but I think we'll go with Thematic Compass for now. Let's go ahead and cast Thematic Compass. That'll flip over, help protect us a little bit. Another sleepy counter coming off the island. Alright, and then I think at this point we're going to go ahead and play the Whisper Silk Cloak, get that out of the way. If we need more unblockability, we can find a way to do so. That shouldn't be a problem. And we'll pass off to our opponents there. At our end step, Thematic Compass will flip over. That way we'll have a little bit of defense. We also have a creature out to block for us, so that's nice. To Edric's turn. Let's see what they do. Still 7 cards in hand like an Edric deck does. So let's see, how much mana do they have available? So the 2 green from here is apparently a lot of elves in the deck as well. 1, 2, 3. So 5 plus 5. They have 10 mana available to them. Edric on the attack, I imagine, into us. Let's see. Yep. Oh, they pull it back. Hold on now. Edric on the attack, reassigning their attackers to the Trostani player, which seems like a good idea with Riss in play. So, them taking some heat off of us is fine with me. All the damage is good. They all flew. All the triggers for the Spymaster. Edric done with the damage, done with the triggers, 11 cards in hand, sorry, 10 now, they played an island. Scrib Ranger, that'll be pretty good. Flying and protection from blue, notably very bad for our commander. Merfolk Spy also coming down, Island Lock, we also have islands. Anyway, Scrib Ranger, flash, flying protection from blue, return a forest you control to its owner's hand, untap a target creature. You can use this ability only once each turn. Good little card. Merfolk Spy, Island Walk. When it deals combat damage to a player, that player reveals a card at random from their hand. Blood Chief Ascension triggers at the end step. There it is, a second card for the Blood Chief Ascension. Going to roll over to Obosh. To Obosh's turn. Edric discarding a forest, by the way. So let's see what Obosh does with it. Obosh, 6 cards in hand, 39 life. 7 mana available. Ooh, Gutter Snipe. That'll be good. So, every time they cast an instant or sorcery, it deals 2 damage, but with Obosh out, it will deal 4, which is fantastic for them, anyway. Oh, Repercussions. Man, I wish I'd bought one of these in paper. So, Repercussions, in case you don't know, is an enchantment for 1 red. Whenever a creature is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to that creature's controller, which will be doubled by Obosh. Obosh to the attacks. Is it into us again? No, it's finally into Edric. That's nice. It's essentially a 6/3 now. That's interesting. Sword of the Animist will trigger. No blocks from Edric, they take the 6. To the end step, Blood Chief Ascension. You know what it does? It will get another counter. To Trostani's turn. I was just thinking about the plan to attack. We could really use a Pillow Fort card. Pretty badly. Or a Fog. A couple of those would be nice. Hornet Queen coming down for the Trostani's player. Very good card. I saw Amonkhet Remastered for Arena. Wish it was an Amonkhet regular too, but what can you do? Oh, looks like we have a response out of Edric. What will it be? Unified Will. Counter target spell if you control more creatures than the spell's controller. That's a very specific counter spell, but there you go. Hornet Queen is countered. Blood Chief Ascension triggering. So that took almost all the mana Trostani had. I doubt they're going to do anything else this turn. Trostani passing it off. Ascension will trigger again. Since it already has 3 counters, I'll stop saying that. Comes to our turn, we get a Cyclonic Rift. Well, it's like a fog, right? Totally. But I guess we should get our commander going, because otherwise it doesn't really matter too much. Or should we Psych Rift now, equip it with boots, and just wail on people? We do have a potential counter spell out of the Edric player. So I think I want to get the island going first, and then we'll Psych Rift, see what happens. Don't necessarily want to attack anyone, though. So what are we going to summon? Let's summon Primal Empathy. That'll be nice. A little bit of extra card draw, assuming our island stays, you know, around and alive. And then we have to play this really carefully. Let's go ahead and summon the Mask of Memory. Last Sleepy counter will come off our Slumbering Isle. Mask of Memory, let's see if it gets countered or anything. If Edric has a response to kill our Slumbering Isle, we do have mana up for the Void Grafter. Okay, so far nothing. Let's attempt to equip the Swiftfoot Boots to the Isle. See if Edric has anything. Everyone else is kind of tapped out. I'm not too worried about it. Yep, there's a Pondrify. Kind of knew that would be happening. We'll return it back to the command zone. The Swiftfoot Boots, unfortunately, will be equipping nothing. Scribrager in response on the stack. They're going to untap the Boreal Druid. Boreal Druid? I guess that's how you pronounce it. They'll untap the Mandork. That way, I guess they have counter magic up. Bloodchief Ascension did resolve. Us and the Edric player, we lost 2 life each. To the end step, let's just pass it off to our opponents. We have a response at the end step out of Edric. Looks like they were maybe 1 short of doing a Psych Rift. Yep, just to Edric's turn. Looks like they were trying to do a Psych Rift, but were 1 mana short. I didn't quite get to see because they went to undo a lot of the untapping, but that's a little dangerous. Temple of Mystery into play, they will get to scry 1. Edric to the attack, their flyers off into Obosh, we are taking the Island Walk of Merfolk. That's unfortunate. Hopefully we don't reveal Cyclonic Rift. I'm going to have to check the game log afterward. Damage is good everywhere, look at all the triggers. To the last trigger, let's see what we reveal. We reveal Runic Armasaur, that works for me. Close up the chat box, or the game log box rather. Cloudfin Raptor coming down for the Edric player, second main. Flying and Evolve. Spiketail Hatchling also coming down. Sacrifice it, counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. So, a free counter spell, free force spike on that, not good. Cloudfin Raptor will trigger, it evolves, it will get a 1/1 counter. Skull Clamp hitting the stack for Edric. Skull Clamp being equipped to the insect will die, they will draw 2 cards. Sky Shroud Ranger. Tap to put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield, activate it only anytime you can cast a sorcery. Wirewood Hive Master will trigger, they'll get another insect. Skull Clamp being equipped to the insect, they'll draw yet another 2 cards. To Edric's cleanup step, let's see what they discard. 5 cards apparently, triggers to the stack, looks like it's all lands. Over to Obosh's turn, all the triggers have resolved. Let's see what they do with it. They can deal a lot of damage to all of us, so that is very dangerous. They also have the highest life total because of the Bloodchief Ascension. I think we're going to have to Psych Rift on our next turn and wait on some stuff. Dark Ritual to the stack, Guard Snipe will trigger 2 damage to everyone except double, so 4. Obosh, very good at just being there, which I enjoy about the guard. If you haven't seen my Karavik and Obosh videos, go ahead and check those out later. It was before the companion mechanic was changed to make them not be stupid. Oh, we have a negate coming out. I don't think that's going to matter much. Bloodchief Ascension will trigger. That means 2 life loss for the Edric player. 4 damage to Edric, 4 damage to us, 4 damage to Trostani. Life totals respectively 14, 25, and 25 for Trostani. Price of Knowledge. Okay. We'll take a look at that in a minute. So, Price of Knowledge. Players have no maximum hand size. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, Price of Knowledge deals damage to that player equal to the number of cards on that player's hand. Ooh, that's really good tech against Edric, and unfortunately, pretty good tech against us. We'll be taking 10. Alright, they're just passing it off. Well, there you go. This game should end quickly now. Hopefully Obosh becoming much more of a threat, unless Edric just wants to take us with them. That could also be a thing. Over to Trostani's turn. Price of Knowledge will trigger, and I'll stop saying that until it's destroyed or otherwise, removed. They will take 10 damage, though, for it. Trostani takes the 10 down to 15. So, maybe 2 more turns to live in this world. Phyrexian Processor. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't expect that at this point in the game. So, in case you don't know, it costs 4 to summon. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay any amount of life, and you can pay 4, tap, and create an XX black minion creature token, where X is the amount of life paid as this enters the battlefield. They're paying 10. So they will activate it, they will get a 10-10, gain that 10 life right back. I remember I saw one game where somebody paid 39 into it, and it got countered or something, or destroyed, and I was just like, oh man, that is rough. Oh, I'm sorry. Anointed Procession's in play. They will gain 20 life back. That's pretty good. Alright, so, misread that. That was a very good play, apparently. Hour of Reckoning. Destroy all non-token creatures. Ah, there's the removal. Nice. Oh, and there's the response. Spiketail Hatchling countering unless they pay 1. Ooh, that's too bad. That is way too bad. I was really looking forward to that Hour of Reckoning. Would have been so good. Bloodchief Ascension triggers a few times. Edric down to 12. Trostani's going to be down to 23. But Trostani not out of this game yet. Comes to our turn. We got a couple of triggers. We're first going to take 10 damage. Then Primal Empathy will trigger. We'll put a counter on one of our creatures. Let's do the ape. Sure, why not? We draw an island. Let's go ahead and play the island. I think that's fine. Okay, so here is the conundrum. We can Psych Rift, but it would take us so long to set our commander back up that it's a little bit of a pain. However, we can also then attack Edric with the ape and maybe do something like that. Alright, I think that's what we do. Psych Rift, Memory Mask to the ape, hit Edric, see what we get, and everybody else has to set back up and we can then cast our commander and set up with them. I think that's how we're going to roll things right now. Let's go ahead and do the things. Psych Rift on Overload. Alright, let's see if Edric has some kind of counter. Psych Rift resolves. Works for me. Alright, let's see what all we can do here. Don't want to take any extra damage that I don't have to. Let's go ahead and equip the mask. And go to attacks. Let's send the Tribute Mage off into Trostani just to get that damage in there. Ape off to the Edric player. Damage is good all around. Mask of Memory will trigger it. We'll draw 2 and discard 1. Okay, let's see. Actually, I kind of want to discard the command tower in case they blow up my artifact, so let's go ahead and do that. Command tower to the discard. Let's just pass it off to our opponents. Over to Edric's turn. Land into play. Let's see how fast they can rebuild. I mean, they could drop 3 or 4 guys right now, so it wouldn't take very much at all. Finhorn Elves coming down for the Edric player. Cloudfin Raptor. Merfolk Spy. Cloudfin Raptor will evolve. Skyshroud Ranger will come back down. Llanowar Elves coming back down for the Edric player. Wingcrafter coming back down. It'll soul bond to something and give it flying. Wingcrafter pairs with Llanowar Elves. Skull Clamp coming back down. No mana to equip yet, but that'll be good for him. That's it for Edric. Over to Obosh's turn. Let's see what they do with it. 12 cards in hand for Mold Bounce. Rakdos Signet coming back down. Gutter Snap coming back down. That will be pretty good. Bloodchief Ascension back to the battlefield, followed by Sword of the Animist. Obosh to the cleanup step. Let's see what they discard. Obosh discards Skull Rend. Alright, that's fine with me. Over to Trostani's turn. Trostani straight to the second main. So let's see what they're doing. Phyrexian Rebirth, another mass board wipe. You know, I can still live with that. So they get a 9/9 horror. Also, that's not the most horrifying thing I've ever seen, but it's still pretty gnarly. Intangible Virtue, creature tokens they control get 1/1 and Vigilance. Down for Trostani. Pretty good. Now a 10/10 Vigilante. Comes our turn. Primal Empathy will trigger. We unfortunately will get nothing out of it. We get Heroic Intervention. That will be good later. Let's go ahead, play the Buried Ruin. And then we need to recast our commander, which will cost us a glorious 8 mana. Because we are all in on this Tron strategy, everyone. All in on it. So let's go ahead and do the things. Cast our commander again. Alright, Arixmethes back down. Let's just pass it off. To Edric's turn. Their board has been wiped. 8 cards in hand currently. They are at 8 life. So anything out of Obosh could very much threaten them. We also have to worry about the 10/10 Vigilant creature. That is somewhat problematic. We do have Spires, but green and white can have protection from things, and hexproof, namely. Chain of Vapor. Chain of Vapor to the 10/10 horror token. Return the permanent to its owner's hand. Alright. Then that permanent's controller may sacrifice a land. If that player does, they may copy the spell and choose new targets. Everything resolves. Horror is gone. No copying of the spell. Edric not to be outdone on the removal. Wirewood Hivemaster coming back down for Edric. That's one of the ones we bounced. It makes the insect tokens. Scrib Sprites coming back down as well. To Obosh's turn. I have to tell you, I thought this game would end a couple of times already. It's gone back and forth pretty well, though. Everybody's in there for the good fight. Obosh the Prey Piercer coming back down for that player. If they had one more mana to follow that up with the black enchantment that's still in their hand that deals damage equal to the hand size, Edric would be dead next turn. We'd be at 5, and Trostani would be down to, 9? That'd be pretty bad. Spell Shock. Whenever a player casts a spell, deals 2 damage to that player. That is terrible for us. We have to cast spells to wake up our island. Oh, man. Oh, that's so good against Edric, though. Oh, do we have a response out of Edric, though? 2 blue mana floating. Snap! Return target creature to its owner's hand. Untap up to 2 lands. So they're bouncing Obosh in response to the Spell Shock. No follow-up with a counter spell. Kind of makes me a little bit sad this time. Spell Shock back down to only doing 2 damage, at least for this round around the table. That's it for Obosh's turn. Over to Trostani. Soul Ring coming down for Trostani. Spell Shock will trigger, dealing 2 to them. So I think the plan right now is I'm kind of hoping for a Corrupted Conscience so we can steal something big and kill the Obosh player. The Obosh player has consistently had answers to Edric and us as far as the spellcasting goes, but Edric specifically, which I enjoy, but I don't know how we're going to get around that Spell Shock without taking a huge amount of damage and then just like dying on our upkeep to that black enchantment. Trostani coming back down for that player, they'll take another 2 damage. Anointed Procession also coming back down for Trostani, yet another 2 damage. So they've taken 6 to play spells this turn. Although they have life gain, I think they'll be fine. Something I haven't noticed at Trostani though is enchantment or artifact removal. That does have me a little bit concerned. We also have enchantment and artifact removal, but we haven't drawn any of it. So after this game, I will be checking on that. Alright, hold on. Ovia Pashiri? Sage Lifecrafter? Is that how you say that? Anyway, that's coming down for the Trostani player as well. They will be able to gain the life back +1 from the trigger of Spell Shock. Looks like we have another response coming out of Edric. Spellsure Sprite. Okay, so they're going to counter that spell. They'll take another 2 damage. I've never seen her be all that good. Maybe they just don't want Trostani to gain the life. Risk the Redeemed also coming back down for the Trostani player. They'll take another 2 damage. Down to 11 they go. Alright, we have 2 triggers this deck. Wirewood Hivemaster will trigger because Riss is an elf. Interesting. Didn't know count all elves, but it is an older one. They tend to do that. Trostani will also trigger. They'll gain 1 life. Bloodchief Ascension back out. We'll get a new counter. It's back down to 1 since it got bounced. Comes to our turn. Primal Empathy. We'll do nothing. No empathy here. We get Thassaga of the Sea. So we have to spend 10 life just to get our commander going. And I don't think we're going to survive that long. So I think what I want to do here is Runic Amasaur, Trophy Mage, pass it off, hold up Heroic Intervention. Something akin to that. Trophy Mage, the triggers happen, we'll take the 2. Alright, we get something with CMC 3. Unfortunately no life gain, which is something I'm going to have to address. We also still have the swords to choose from. I think at this point though, we will choose the Sword of Vengeance. Tap the appropriate colors of mana and cast Runic Armasaur. More triggers. Alright, let's go ahead and equip the Mask of Memory to the Trophy Mage. And then let's go ahead and equip the Whisper Silk Cloak to it. Pass it off. Unfortunately, this game has been going on for a long time at this point, and my brain's starting to fry. Off to Edric's turn, that's an island into play, and they immediately tap some mana. Let's see what they're doing with it. It's Edric, Spymaster of Trest. Alright, they'll take another 2 damage, go down to 4, but they do have a number of flying things, so they will be able to draw some extra cards off of it, possibly even play like a Psych Rift if they have it in the deck, which they probably do. Wirewood Hivemaster will trigger it, they get another insect. Edric off to the combat step. All things able to attack off into Obosh, that seems pretty legit. All the damage is good, Obosh down to 53. I say that like it's a better thing. To Edric's second main, 6 cards in hand currently, they are tapping mana. Nature's Claim, was it targeting? Yes, the Spell Shock. We have a Nature's Claim in here, I'm pretty sure anyway. Would have liked to see it. They do give the controller of that enchantment 4 life, so they go back up to 57 for Obosh. but Spell Shock is gone. Good for all of us, really, although they can still play the Black Enchantment. Petromander coming down for the Edric player. Flying Men also coming down, only in an Edric deck, although I think there was like a Legacy or Vintage deck that used them for a sec. I don't remember. It's been, like I said, it's been a long while. Obosh Pioneer down for the Edric player. When it enters the battlefield, you may put a basic land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. That's pretty good. Wirewood Hive Master will trigger again. Another insect token for the Edric player. We get a trigger, we'll get to draw a card. I think we'll do that. Sylvan Scrying, that will be okay. We'll get a land out of the deck. Alright, to Obosh's turn. Let's see what they're playing. They've been tapping mana for a little bit here. I wonder if it'll be that Black Enchantment followed by Obosh on the next turn. Obosh the Prey Piercer coming back down for that player. And they have 4 mana remaining. This could easily be the death of Edric. Mizzix's Mastery. Okay. Exile a card that's an instant sorcery from your graveyard for each card exiled this way. Copy it. You may cast the copy without paying its mana cost. Exile it. Exile this card, sorry. Or you can overload. They did not overload, so they are getting back. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, right here. Skullrend. Okay, 2 damage to each opponent. Those players each discard 2 cards at random. Crap. Alright, Skullrend to the stack. We'll each take 4. Edric is dead, more or less, unless they have some kind of, I don't know, force of will, I suppose? Edric down. Bloodchief Ascension triggers a bunch of times. Alright, unfortunately, we discarded Voidgrafter and Thassa. That is, yeah, just generally very unfortunate. Also, it means also we're going to take 4 more life. We'll be at 1. So, yeah, this just didn't work out. That's the problem with Tron, though. You walk into a counter or an ape hits you in the face. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, we're only down to 3. Can't math, apparently. Need more coffee. Trostani down to 4. The Obosh player up to 69. Over to Trostani's turn. Let's see what they do with it. Only 1 card in hand, though. 4 life, 6 commander damage, if that matters anymore. They could have something. We'll have to wait and see. Risk the Redeem being activated. We get a trigger. We will draw a card. Sure. More options are always a good thing. Tech Edge. Not something I want necessarily. Trostani gets 2 2/2 Vigilant Elf Warriors. They will gain 4 life. Trostani is responding with Populate. Indeed, Populate will also get to draw another card. That's very nice. Island, still not something I necessarily wanted. Trostani goes to Populate. They'll get 2 more tokens, therefore gaining 4 more life. Pretty good foil to Obosh's plan, but Obosh is just very far ahead at this point. Paradise Druid coming down, that was the 1 card in their hand. So, they will gain another 1 life. That'll bring Trostani up to a total of 12. Through combat to their second main, I think here we will cast the Heroic Intervention, just get that out of our hand at the moment. Don't think we're long for the world anyway. Get a Slumbering counter off the Slumbering Isle. We go down to 1. That's fair. It's a huge risk. Primal Empathy will trigger. Unfortunately, we just get the counter on something. Not going to be helping us against Obosh. Let's put on the Runic Amazor. Sure, why not? We get Rhystic Study. That is, I don't know. Feels bad, I guess? I don't know what to say about that. Okay, so what do we want to do here? Let's play Sword of Vengeance, I'm thinking. Let's go ahead and do that. Remove a Sleepy counter. Play Tech Edge to the battlefield. More mana is always good. Let's go ahead and play the Fleet Feather Sandals because why not? We'll remove the last Sleepy counter. Arixmethes is a living being now. It is a creature. We can attack with it. Let's equip the Sword of Vengeance to Arixmethes. It'll get 2/0 and all those relevant abilities except for haste. And then we will equip the Whispersilk Cloak to Arixmethes, make it unblockable. And for the lulz, we'll do Swiftfoot Boots to the Armasaur. Why not? Alright, let's get to the attacks. We're at least going to hit Obosh. I mean, we could potentially kill Trostani, but they played a fair game and stayed in it. I'm not going to do that to them. Damage is good. 14 Commander. Obosh down to 57 for the normal life total. We're going to get there, guys. We're still at 1. 3 cards in hand. Let's pass it off. Over to Obosh. Repercussions is a thing that's happening. That's unfortunate. On the bright side, we have First Strike on our Sword of Vengeance. Obosh to the attacks. Obosh into the Trostani player. Let's see what happens. Repercussion should make any of this interesting. So if they don't block, they take 6. If they do block, they take 6. Alright, there are the triggers. Bloodchief Ascension will trigger. Drain Trostani for 2. Repercussions will deal 6 damage to Trostani. 2 damage will be dealt to the Obosh player. Trostani is dead. So now all the Obosh player has to do is recast that black enchantment and they win the game. I didn't think we'd even get to second this game, so I can live with this. Want to make sure I open the chat here so I can say good game. Okay, so we take damage double to our non-basics. That's good game right there. Good game to the Obosh player. There's the trigger. Let him have it. There it is, -7. Again, good game to our opponent. Oh, they revealed their hand. We'll reveal our hand. Prize of Knowledge was the one I was waiting for. Crovath's Fury might be really good in this deck. Hadn't thought of that. Crimson Aura Guard. Okay. Ambition's Cost. Alright, I like it. Let's go ahead and check out the deck here. So, noticeable weaknesses besides it being Tron weaknesses. No life gain, and the swords just kind of suck. I have a love-hate relationship with the swords. I see other people play them, and they're awesome. I play them, and they're slow and not terribly efficient, and I don't know. Maybe I just don't know how to play them right, but oftentimes I play a sword and equip it and swing, and it's great, but it's not killing my opponent. As opposed to something like Aristocrats, I like to play something and deal 6 damage. I'm one of those kind of players. So I think we're going to be taking out the Sword of Steel and Sinew, and I think we're going to be taking out the Sword of Truth and Justice, and putting in a Luxon Warhammer. The equip cost is higher, but the life gain will be nice. And I also noticed that we can't deal enough damage if we get that one shot in, so I do have some things for that. We have Inquisitor's Flail, which deals, it's double damage to our commander, but the commander also deals double damage, which is great. And then we have another equipment we can use called Fire Shrieker, and it gives double strike. So as long as we're getting through anyway, might as well use that. So let's go ahead and add that to the deck. So the swords are replaced, Inquisitor's Flail's in the deck. Let's also put in maybe Basilisk Collar. Is that too much, do you think? Let me know in the comments. Other than that, though, we do have to get rid of a card. So what would we cut for it? So I think at this point, to add all that stuff in, we'll cut the Fleet Feather Sandals. The flying is nice, but we do have a block ability and trample and other stuff. And the flying, I don't know, I just never want to really play this, and the haste doesn't even matter. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. And ta-da, new deck list. So got a little bit of life gain, might add more in the future. We have some double striking or double damaging capability. We still have the Infect, which we haven't seen like at all, which could help us win the game, would be nice. And then the majority of our equipment are still tutorable with our mages. So there's the deck, let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed the game. Good game to our opponents again, and of course, if you saw any cards in this video that you might like to buy for yourself in paper, sealed product, or sleeves, please use that TCG Player affiliate link in the description below and help out the channel. And until next time, until the final game of this series where we hopefully do better, although we did pretty good this time, I have to admit, I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for coming to Durdle with us today. Hit that subscribe button and go ahead and hit that notification bell so you're always up to date with our latest videos. Please leave a like and share the video with somebody who you might think is interested. We also post links to our videos on Facebook and Twitter at DurdleMTG. If those are the forums you choose to use, please check us out there. Until we can Durdle with some magic again, see you around.